Hello, welcome to the news on Pace TV. My name is paceTV.ng. Barely 24 hours after the release of the 2014-15 WAEC results by WAEC, Nigerians, especially educationists, are reacting to the seizure of the results of candidates in public schools from 13 states indebted to the West African Examinations Council. Pace TV's correspondent Oluwaseun Awoyemi has the details.
Describing the development as very worrisome and means costs for the improvement of the standard of education in the country, the respondent said it was high time political office holders separated education from politics.
Education has become a political issue since 1999. We have our governors, we come and say we are doing this for education, we are doing this, we are doing that. And they have been using the payment of WAEC fees as a political issue.
Most of these governments, at the time of campaign, you say free education, free health, free this, when most of them had never been into public administration before.
They are also frowning at the fact that the education body has bluntly refused to review the affected state.
I think it must be frank enough to let the public know these things, and for us to know, are these states really education-loving states?
I foresee a situation whereby parents will rise up to this challenge, at least by way of protest.
While calling on governors of the affected states to quickly resolve the issue, the analyst said the effect of the seizure cannot be quantified in the life of candidates caught in the web.
It will lead to a denial of admission of our candidates that already enrolled, that will be enrolled into Nigerian universities and other higher institutions, tertiary institutions in Nigeria.
They are also calling on President Muhammadu Buhari to step into the matter in the interest of the affected candidates, who they said would definitely be traumatized by the action. Oluwaseun Awoyemi for Pace TV News.
The increasing rate of child abuse in Nigeria is becoming quite alarming. More disturbing is that these youngsters are more often abused and harassed by their loved ones and guardians. Pace TV's correspondent Afodun Adoebi reviews this ugly development, its effects on these children, and the role of the Child Rights Act in preventing the abuse of minors.
Foremost female human rights activist Mrs. Jo Oke Odumake narrated her experience of an 8-year-old house help who was usually chained to a generator set by her employer. This case, just like several other incidents, is increasing daily and thus causing citizens of this country to wonder what the reason for this could be.
Of about 8-9 years, that was being chained to a generator, and the person who chained her, the husband and wife with their child, went to church.
Caution of all these attributes together, you are building a recipe for mankind to resist themselves.
The effect of this unfortunate trend on the victims cannot be overemphasized, considering its constant effect on the community and the society at large if allowed to continue.
If any child is beaten continuously, apart from the child being maimed, that child can be hardened. And when the child grows up in the society, the child will know any other language than violence.
Human rights activists up until now have been on the forefront in the battle against child abuse as well as child labor. But with the incessant rise of the trend, there is dire need for victims as well as those not affected to fight the menace.
Any religion must anyone hide those who perpetrate these heinous acts.
While some commended governments for the passage of the child rights law, some correspondents want a situation where this act will be duly and fully domesticated in all the states of the Federation.
It is to implement all the laws that protect the rights of the child.
The need to drop all rules and traditional practices that do not allow these children voice out their complaints and opinions when severely beaten by parents was also stressed. Afodun Adoebi, Pace TV News.
The federal government of Nigeria has released new guidelines for port operations across Nigeria in its efforts to reposition the country's maritime sector. The new guidelines were announced in Lagos by the Director General of Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, LIMASA, Haruna Jaro, who said the move would boost the government's revenue and employment drive. paceTV's correspondent, Damilola Adelugba, has the rest of the story.
The federal government has formally signed a new set of guidelines during operation in the maritime sector. The Director General also said that a new set of laws will enable the maritime industry to create more jobs for Nigerians. The new set of guidelines will further increase the revenue base of the country as well as stop any leakage in the system.
We are going to make every effort to see that which is in the guideline is implemented. We are not going to also cross our legs and our hands. We will be extending this arm of fellowship to the NPA. We have a desire to create more forum for us to be interacting, to be discussing areas, ideas with NPA on the way forward, especially in the maritime industry. And I'm very glad that this aspect of the stevedoring will be at the fore, and we hope that in the very near future the whole thing will come to an end and the stevedores will smile at the end.
One of the stakeholders in the industry also stated that the stevedoring set of laws will further increase the human capacity in the sector. Meanwhile, Barrister will be formally handed over to the new DG Nimasa. Damilola Adelugba for paceTV News.
A train accident in Agege area of Lagos was said to have killed an unspecified number of people on Monday night. According to eyewitnesses' accounts, the accident, which occurred at the Penn Cinema end, was said to have been caused by a truck driver which ran into the rail track. Most of the train passengers that died were said to have been hanging on the roof of the train.
Those tanker drivers, they are always in a hurry. And when the train was coming, the train blew the horn very well. It's moving on its own. But the tanker driver was not patient enough, and he ran into it. What I'm trying to emphasize is that government should help us to enact a law that will make all those people that are hanging on trains or sitting on top of train, it should stop it, because it's not favorable, because their life is at risk.
I wish there wasn't hanging yesterday. I don't think people, as in the incident of people dying, will happen.
Officials of the Nigerian Railway Corporation were seen at the accident scene fixing the destroyed portion of the track after evacuating the train on Monday night.
If this iron you are seeing here is dropped down, that trailer would have stopped in time. It wouldn't have run into the mouth. It wouldn't have run into the mouth of the coming railway.
The driver of the truck with Yobe registration number was said to have survived the accident, but the affected truck has been detained at the Agege police station. The incident led to a chaotic traffic situation in and around Agege on Tuesday night. You're watching paceTV News. Business news is after the break. Don't go away. The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, in line with its cost-saving measures and effort to operate a leaner and more efficient structure, has relieved several of its top management staff at its various strategic business units of their responsibilities. This restructuring reduces the organizational management structure from 122 to 83. Yesterday's shake-up, as announced by the NNPC spokesman Ohi Alegbe, means that Haruna Momo, erstwhile director of the Pipelines and Product Marketing Company, and Tony Ugona Moneke of the Nigerian Petroleum Development Company, NPDC, among others, have been relieved of their posts. It would be recalled that about a week ago, the federal government also reduced the number of directorates at the oil corporation from 8 to 4. The Lagos chapter of the Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria, CIBN, has expressed concern over the worsening value system in the country. The chairman of the Lagos branch of CIBN, Mrs. Taiwo Ige, while addressing journalists yesterday on the forthcoming Lagos CIBN Bankers Night, scheduled to hold on Thursday, the 13th of August 2015, disclosed that the branch chose the topic, Rebuilding Our Value System, the strategic imperative for Nigerian economic development, was to help address this growing anomaly in our society. Also, the chairman of the organizing committee of Lagos CIBN, Arinola Adeniyi, said that the event would be inclusive and focus on the need to diversify the Nigerian economy. This is paceTV News. We have sports news right after this break, so stick around. Welcome back. The president of the Nigeria Football Federation, Amaju Melvin Pinnick, has again emphasized that Nigeria has the quality and quantity of population and the wherewithal to be a strong voice in the international scene. Speaking on an early morning TV program, Pinnick, not for the first time, urged critics of the Nigerian game to be more constructive rather than destructive and to cultivate the habit of preferring solutions whenever they feel what was being offered was below expectations. Coach of the national soccer team under 23, aka Dream Team 6, Samson Siasia, has invited 31 players to camp in preparations for next month's All-African Games in Brazzaville, Congo. The list, which is made up of mostly players who qualified the Dream Team for the Games, has some new faces like Lucky Jimo, Bright Onyedikachi, Olisa Inda, amongst others. The invited players are expected to report to the Parkview Hotel located at Zone 2, Wuse, Abuja on Wednesday, the 12th of August, 2015 with their international passports. You're still watching Pace News. Next is entertainment. Stick around. Welcome back. On entertainment, Joe Jackson, father of the late pop icon Michael Jackson, has finally returned to the United States after his birthday trip to Brazil was shortened with 3 heart attacks and a stroke and another incident right before he was supposed to leave. The 87-year-old was released from the hospital last week but suffered a fall, delaying his return. And that has been the news on Pace TV. My name is Stella. Thank you for being with us.